So in 1978, Mary Sue Kitts was murdered and dumped into this river here, this canal, in Fresno County. So the story's a bit complicated. So a guy by the name of Clarence Ray Allen, I guess in his 40s, decides to start living a life of crime, and his son ends up dating Mary Sue Kitts, and Clarence ends up robbing a store, you know, with his son, and then Mary Sue ends up helping them cash some of the cashier's check they stole. She would go to the bank and cash them, and apparently she knew the owner's son, from the store that they robbed, and so the owner's son, confronted, Clarence Ray's son, who was dating Mary Sue Kitts. I know it's kind of complicated, but so what ends up happening is Clarence Ray orders Mary Sue to be killed by one of his, I guess, thugs. So he goes, they try to give her cyanide pills, and she doesn't take them, so he ends up strangling her. They wrap her up in a sheet, or they wrap her up in something, and they take her over to this area, and they dump her into this canal. Now, this is just present time, so I'm not sure what it looked like in 1978. It could have been more filled, but who knows. Oh yeah, as I was flying the drone, I was noticing weird objects in there, but I'm not sure what that is. That seems like just a piece of metal or something that somebody threw in there. And anyhow, so they throw it in, and then but nobody finds out till 3 years later when they catch one of these thug guys, that Clarence used to murder her. So he confesses about a couple years later. Clarence gets in trouble, and I don't really know if they conducted a search. I know from time to time they had drained this canal, but I just don't think, when they drained it, I don't think anybody walked it or, examined it for remains, because I'm sure her body, floated down, and eventually, it just whatever she was wrapped in probably fell apart, and her bones probably ended up, lodging it in some of the. Every so often there's like these drainage areas, kind of like a miniature dam type of thing, that kind of regulates the water. So, her bones probably got stuck there, and they probably are still there, at least some of them. But we'll never know until somebody goes down and examines from here. I mean, how many miles can a body travel? They weighed her down with cement blocks. So, she probably was there for a lot of years, but we're talking 1978, so eventually, her body would kind of just fall apart, kind of like if you guys are familiar with the Lacey Peterson case, she was weighed down, but her body eventually kind of floated back up. So same thing here, but this canal, is always running, so her body would have just floated down. So who knows? I mean, I try to look for I try to look for any kind of evidence. I knew I'd kind of most likely wouldn't find her. So hopefully one day, they'll find her bones, her remains, and the family can get closure. Here's a picture of Clarence Ray when he began to live his life of crime. These are the people he ended up murdering at the store.